For a second there, I thought they were singing Barca. There was also fierce action taking place in Catalonia as five-time Champions League winners Barcelona hosted Napoli. We got the highlights.
To left, they are all in white. Barcelona, of course, in the red and blue. These two couldn't play each other without a mention for Diego Armando Maradona, who represented both. And Osimhen is trying to sneak in behind here, and it was just...
It's good from Barcelona, mixing up the play, aren't they?
It's nicely done. Pull back towards Lewandowski, left it, and they're in front as Fermin Lopez side foots Barcelona into the lead.
Superbly worked. I said they've been mixing their play up, haven't they? They've been playing some short passes, but very often they've actually been looking for that long diagonal ball, or indeed the straight one. And once again, Fermin Lopez in a great position. This time he keeps his composure.
Christensen, the back heel to Mario Rui. Randall got onto it. Yamal keeping it away from Lobotka, and now striding forwards. And there are options, and he's looking to release Rafinha here. Lewandowski's to his side, he's hit the post, but the follow-up is to João Cancelo, and Barcelona have scored twice in 2 minutes.
What a start from Barcelona. Well, if you can mix the play up like you said, and then add in the counter-attacking abilities of this young kid, Lamine Yamal, not only the run, but look at the weight of pass for Rafinha. Doesn't have to break stride, he can go outside or come in. Unlucky for the Brazilian, great attempt.
Here's Politano in a great position, pulls it back, and a fabulous goal. Ramani has made it 2-1, and Napoli are right back in the tie.
But it's got to be good to beat ter Stegen, and it was well worked. Super play on the right side. They had been patient for a minute or so before that. What about that for a cutback? The easy ball.
Ill start. Di Lorenzo for Traore. Mario Rui. That's a good header, and a brilliant save from ter Stegen to deny Di Lorenzo. Kvaratskhelia. Osimhen in the middle, shinned away by Araujo. It's going to be delivered back in by Matthew Oliveira. Lindstrom, it's a free header and he's put it wide. That might be the best opportunity that they get. Roberto. Gundogan, beautiful ball. Sergio Roberto and Lewandowski puts Barcelona into the quarter-final of the Champions League.
He wouldn't miss those at 45, Lewandowski, if he's still playing. Silky plays it. Look at that, Gundogan. The weight of the pass, the timing, early release, unselfish.
Pep Guardiola I'm talking about. And that's it. Barcelona are into the quarter-finals of the Champions League.
Barcelona are into the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Well, joining me on set is the Arsenal fan, our SportsMax football analyst, Leger Williams. Good afternoon, Lig. What a performance by Barcelona. A lot of you had a lot of things to say.
Yeah, you know, I initially thought that Napoli would have gotten the win in this one.
Why again?
I thought it would have just been an open game between two teams that aren't very good defensively, and in the first half especially, that's what it was. Barca started the better of the two teams, getting a lot of chances on the transition. You could see that in the second goal, it was good interplay by all of their attacking players, but then once around 20 minutes in, Napoli started to settle down in the game a bit, and they started to knock the ball around, created chances, probably could have equalized. Then in the second half, I think Barca really took back the game, scruff of the neck, and they really were the dominant team for almost all of the second half. There was a chance for Lindstrom that maybe, as soon as I saw that one didn't go in, I figured as much that Barcelona were going to win this one, and they were definitely the dominant force in the game overall, so it's a deserved victory. But overall, I think it's just a battle of two underwhelming teams, two league champions from last season, Barcelona in La Liga, Napoli in Serie A, but they're both underperforming this season, but Barca definitely got the better of Napoli this time.
Yeah, one of the talking points into this matchup was the fact that Barcelona was relying on too many youngsters to, of course, step up for them. Today, we saw that playing out, but Fermin Lopez, 20 years of age, getting the first goal for Barcelona, and I think creating that momentum, giving them that confidence to go on to win.
Yeah, and he's a bundle of energy, Fermin Lopez. You know, he has been, ever since he made his debut, he's been playing some really good stuff as well. But it's not only him, you know, you have Lamine Yamal, who also made significant impacts in the game. Of course, you also had Kubarsi as well, who was brilliant also at centre-back for a 17-year-old in such a big European game to take that responsibility, and he showed us most touches, most passes in the game as well. So really impressive from him, and I think all of the Barca youngsters really stood up, showed their quality, and as I said, it's a deserved victory, and they did well to get past Napoli.
Yeah, Robert Lewandowski in La Liga, the discussion is always some days he's hot, some days he's cold. One thing people can't deny is that he really shows up for big games. He likes Champions League and he loves these matches when it involves a knockout tie. He's been very good in this Champions League. Earlier today in the Champions League show, I gave the stats about, you know, how much he has contributed and how he loves it. He was the difference maker today.
Yeah, he had a really good performance. I think he was very active, dropping into the midfield, something that I've criticized him for in the past, but I think he did it effectively today, especially with the speed that he had on the wings with Yamal and Rafinha bursting in front of him, and Fermin, I think, is a more natural fit to replace him in terms of the interchange when he's dropping into midfield and Fermin would go into the front line. So I think he had a good game today, capped off with a goal, his 94th goal in the Champions League, 6 away from a century. I'm not quite sure if he'll get there. Maybe if he stays in Europe past the season, maybe if he stays at Barca, I'm not quite sure as yet. But I do think that, you know, his quality can't be denied, especially in that 6-yard box, in the 18-yard box. He's one of the most lethal finishers we've ever seen. So, you know, it was good for him to get on the score sheet today, and he really capped off a good Barcelona display.
Yeah, I know it's taking a lot from you, Liz. I see you have your phone watching the SportsMax app, monitoring the Arsenal game, which is ongoing in extra time. In a moment, we'll get to that because I know you're kind of on the edge of your seat. But a quick comment on Napoli and the fact that they had won Serie A last year by about 16 points, struggling 7th place at the moment domestically, and it's the end of the road for them now in Europe. How disappointed are Napoli fans with how things have gone this season?
Extremely disappointed, and they should be. I think what they showed this season, especially after letting go of Spalletti, is the fact that how incompetent a team can be in getting rid of a coach that provided so much success. I think once he left, Luciano Spalletti, the appointments after him just hasn't been inspiring. You know, this is their 3rd manager now, Calzona, for the season, and it's just not going well. This is the best that, coincidentally, this is the best that they've played all season, and they're still not good enough to compete on a European level, probably in a Serie A level as well. They're conceding goals left, right, and centre. So it hasn't been an inspiring season for Napoli. It's very disappointing considering the talent that they have, and I think it's going to get worse next season when they'll probably lose a couple of their best players. So they should be very disappointed, and I know that disappointment is transmitting all throughout the city of Naples.
Yeah, well, Leger, your team, Arsenal, they went to play Porto and, of course, tried to overcome that 1-goal deficit. Let's take a look at the highlights now and see what's taking place.
Porto playing an English team in England for the 23rd time. They've yet to win any of the previous occasions. Trossard back to Arsenal's captain. Lovely ball. Here's Trossard, and Arsenal are level in the tie.
No Martinelli, no problem for Arsenal. One or two were hoping to see Gabriel Jesus' name on the left-hand side for Arsenal tonight, but Leandro Trossard is having a terrific season. No surprise, it's Martin Ødegaard that's the architect. Fine margins this game,
Yeah.
very little in it.
Havertz there tussling with Pepe, and Pepe used all his experience, but he's given it away. And Martin Ødegaard scores for Arsenal.
Oh, Havertz, does he? Let's have a look. See, he just blocks off the goalkeeper.
He does tangle with the goalkeeper,
which allows Ødegaard to get his shot away. Might be the reason why this has been disallowed.
beautifully played into Francisco Conceição, and now it's Porto advancing, and still with Conceição brings the save from David Raya, and Evan Nilsson can't get there because Kivior was in his way, but the flag has gone up on the near side. Here's Saka, Ødegaard still can't find a way through, challenged by Varela, and it's But Octavio, it falls to Gabriel Jesus with his very first touch. There wasn't much doubt about it. There goes the final whistle. It's been tight. At times, it's been a little touchy.
What's for sure is Champions League. It always serves up some excitement, and we're going to take a live look in to see what's been happening in this fixture.
Continues to do his fruit on the touchline. That's been a theme at various points during the evening. Penalties are looming and looking likely. Barring late. Costa. And the two keepers could be about to take centre stage here in this UEFA Champions League round of 16 tie. On it goes from Taremi towards Galeno. Saliba hooking it clear. Eustáquio beaten to it by Saka and then tries to hold him back.
This is the game, isn't it, now? Arsenal.
Again, no card from the referee. Just
Yes, so extra time about to close off there in that fixture. So they are apparently heading for penalties, and nerve-wracking experience here for, I would say, the Arsenal fans, because they are more Arsenal fans that I know more than FC Porto fans.
Yeah.
But Liz, a quick comment here, because Brent Sancho in our preview yesterday did suggest that Porto's defensive capabilities suggested to him that they could contain Arsenal today and make this one very, very tough for Arsenal. And it has turned out that way.
I mean, it's easy to say that, but I think that's a lot of results-based analysis. Arsenal made both of the ties tough on themselves. They're the superior team. They didn't assert that superiority in any settled dominance in terms of controlling the attacking third in either game. I think what Porto did succeed in doing is making it a frustrating one, making it more of a transitional-based game, and obviously that doesn't suit Arsenal, that more so suits Porto. So I'd say that's what they succeeded in. They did defend well in the first leg, but in the second leg, at the very least, although they have defended relatively well, I don't think they've defended well enough or better than most teams Arsenal would face on a week-to-week basis. I just think that, a Champions League night, maybe a mental block has come up, and that's what has caused the game to go all the way to penalties in this occasion.
But Mariah, we have an opportunity here to allow Lish to go and try to drag his team over the line, watching those penalties as we go to the break.
Yeah, break time. It's all for Ligy.
Yes, so we're back and we're watching action from the Emirates, where Arsenal are poised to win on penalties over FC Porto, the game going into penalties after the 1-1, and they have in fact just completed the victory. And nail-biting stuff there for the Gunners, but in front of their home fans, they didn't disappoint, and their penalties, Liz, were well struck, much to your satisfaction.
And not any surprise either. Arsenal have been working with a sports psychologist ever since our penalty shootout loss against Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League a season ago. So this is no surprise to me. We saw how calm Arsenal's penalties were in the Community Shield against Manchester City. It's no different here. From the penalty shootout was there. I've been confident all the way through, but some nervous times. But Arsenal ended up getting it done, and hopefully now that they have gone past this stage for the first time. I said this on the Champions League show.
I know.
I'm not sure if Maria quite believed it. The last time I saw Arsenal win a UEFA Champions League round of 16 tie, I was 11 years old.
Yes, you
so
did.
it's nice.
And you're how old now?
I'm 25 now, Sir Lance.
25.
But how does it feel, Leger? Because I know being an Arsenal supporter and not getting the results that you want, coming so close to getting the result and not getting it, must take a toll on you.
Yeah, when I was younger, you know, as Sir Lance always says, you know, when you get older, you get a bit calmer. But it has been very frustrating throughout the years. But I'm a man that believes in intention and process. And I know that intention-wise and process-wise, and 9 times out of 10, Arsenal will have the advantage over most teams in world football. So that makes me a bit more calm nowadays. This game was obviously a very nerve-wracking one. But, you know, the team got through. They did what they needed to do. And I'm very relieved. I'm very happy. And hopefully this can get the monkey off our back, as people like to say. And we can move forward more positively for the rest of the season.
You think you can win? I know we have to move on, but wow.
I'm looking for the monkey.
It's not off his back yet.
I'm not seeing a monkey on your back. I'm not seeing it. So
no, Sir Lance. When I say our, you know, unlike at Manchester City or Manchester United, Arsenal is like a family club. So I've just grown accustomed to saying our. I'm trying to get it out of my system now. So yes, the monkey of Arsenal's back, but you know, I'm a part of the family at large.
okay. All right, the last 2 quarterfinalists will be decided on Wednesday, with Atletico Madrid hoping to overturn a 1-0 deficit as they host a rampant Inter Milan team, while Borussia Dortmund and PSV are looking to break their 1-1 deadlock from their first leg. Liz, your thoughts on what might happen on Wednesday?
Well, I think it's going to be more of the top teams. Well, I think one of the ties are very even. The Dortmund-PSV tie, I think that's a much more even tie. But I do think that Inter Milan will comfortably win. They should have comfortably won their first leg as well. They dominated Atletico Madrid. I know Brent Sancho, for example, has been very critical of Simeone. Simeone didn't help his cause in the first leg by playing or coaching a bit scared against Inzaghi. I know that Inter are in extremely good form, but he didn't really help out. I think Inter are one of the best teams in Europe. People might see that coming as a surprise when they got to the final last season, but they've doubled down and even improved and gotten better this season. So this Inter team is a force. They're the best team in build-up, in possession, in European football, and additionally, they're one of the best defensive teams in Europe as well.
And
so
they have a real big lead in Serie A at the moment.
Yes, 16 points. This, as a matter of fact, this is the second most points a team in Italy has ever had at this point in time, only 1 point behind their own mark in 06-07. So this Inter team is a serious contender for the Champions League again.
Yeah, and you know, Brent actually said that on the show yesterday, because I suggested to him that while people are looking at Real Madrid based on their consistency and their know-how in Champions League football and Manchester City's undeniable class, I don't want to put Arsenal there just yet. If he felt that there was another team that could win the UEFA Champions League, and he very promptly said Inter is a team that cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, and there's the reason why even yesterday I said that there's a big difference in between winning the Premier League and the Champions League. The difference I meant is the fact that culturally the Champions League is played at a different tempo and stylistically as well. So the Champions League is played at a tempo that is, if you were to compare it to any of the top 5 leagues, it is more similar to the Serie A. It's more similar to Italian football in terms of the transitional space that you get. And even if you're coming from a league like the Premier League, where there isn't that much transitional space or space in the midfield because of the quality of the teams in the Champions League, that's what the games will end up being. We saw that in the Arsenal game today, for example, the Napoli and Barcelona game also. So that's just the nature of the Champions League. And when you put a really quality Italian team in the Champions League, that's why we saw AC Milan and Inter go so far last season. This is where we're going to see Inter Milan continuing to go far, because it's right up their wheelhouse and they have the quality to match. So Inter Milan cannot be discounted. I would put them in top 5 teams in Europe so far this season.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Good analysis there, Liz. We come back after the break with our interactive segment to close the show. Barca and Arsenal celebrating today. They're through to the quarterfinals in UEFA Champions League football.